everybody, and welcome to Simply Cards by Kathy. I'm Kathy Hondas, and today is Tuesday, October 28th, 2025. And I have 3 Christmas cards for you today. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm really happy you found me. I hope you'll like what you see. And if you are with me live or you're catching me on a replay, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend some crafting time with me. Hi, Diane, and thank you for being here. I have to tell you where I got the inspiration for today because I had to switch up what I had originally planned to do. I was going to show you some foiling techniques, and my machine died. So I switched things up, and I have a monthly card class that I do in my home with a group of wonderful ladies, and one of the cards we made inspired me for tonight's video. You know, we always think we have to go all out for our cards, but really you can make some simple, flat, beautiful cards that aren't going to cost you a ton for special stamps. And that's what I want to share with you tonight. So, thank you, Linda and Jareem, for joining. Um, so that's my inspiration. I will show you the card that inspired me. It is one we did just last week during our monthly card class. It is not one we're going to make today. So I hope you're excited to get started. We're going to do 3 cards. I will post the link to my blog by the end of the day tomorrow, where I will have a list of the products and also a tutorial for you to download for all 3 products. All right, let's get started. I have lots to share. Okay, I want to show you the card that kind of inspired me to switch up what we were doing tonight. This is a card we made for card class last week, all of us, and we used it's called the folk art stamp. Very simple. Solid stamps. It's a Gina K product. I think it's retired. I know the dies are available, but the stamp set I believe is sold out. But it's just an easy card. So, and your cards don't have to be all layered and up with everything as far as some of the uh, foams. So we're making easy cards today. So my first card, and I am using different products for each one. My first one, I am using a product by Gina K. This is available on her website only. It's called the Festive Penguins. And cute little guys with some greetings and snowflakes, and it does have matching dies. We're not using the dies today, but we are using one of the penguins and a greeting. And I like this because it does cut out the stamped images, including your greetings. So I'm bringing in just a piece of blue cardstock. It's almost like a Wedgwood blue. And the card is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. And I decided to use a piece of patterned paper, and I'm using a piece with the snowflakes. And you can see it's really non-traditional colors, some blues, greens, golds, and almost even a little peach. Or, yeah, I guess that's from a paper pad, and this paper pad is called Winter Wonderland, and it's by Cardabella. And has some, they are double-sided. You even have some cutouts here for tags or for greetings. So this, you could get a pad of paper and make cards just out of this. But some really pretty designs in it for winter. So I did cut a 4 by 5.25 of this, and we're going to use the snowflake side. And let's go ahead and adhere that onto our card base. And then we're going to go ahead and do just a little bit of stamping. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope your week is going well. And it's been kind of busy, and it's only Tuesday. So we'll see what happens as the rest of the week goes on. All right. Now, I am going to use the little penguin, and the one that I'm using is this little guy right here with the Christmas tree in the center. And we're going to stamp him with some just Memento ink. And I'm going to stamp them on a square. Now, for two of my cards, I pulled out my Spellbinders postage edge dies, and these are the square ones. And I think you may have seen me use these in the last couple weeks. What I like about these is you have the frame and then you have a straight edge that fits layers right inside. So these are the two that I'm using, the second smallest or third largest, however you want to look at it. So I did cut one of blue and I cut one of the white. Now I want to stamp our little guy. I'm going to stamp him right down here. And I have pulled you in pretty close so that you can see what I'm doing. And if it's too close, one of you drop me a line in the comments and I will move the camera back. So I'm going to ink him up. And we're not going to do a lot of coloring on him. We're going to add a little bit of color, but we're going to just let that image speak for itself. So I'm going to stamp him right here. And I'm just going to hold it there for a second so that the ink absorbs. And then I also want to stamp my greeting. Now, I could easily stamp the greeting and die cut it out with the coordinating die, but I'm going to stamp it. We said simple, so I'm going to stamp it right on that square and just make sure it's inked up well. Let me know in the comments if you've started your Christmas cards or even if you make your own Christmas cards. Okay, there's our greeting. Let's move that off to the side. And I have pulled in 3 of my alcohol markers. I'm using Ohuhu, still learning how to use them, but there are 3 of the 3 colors that coordinated with my patterned paper. And I always try to do that, coordinate with the paper. So let's go ahead and I'm going to color his hat. And I'm just going to use the small tip for this. And I'm not going to do anything fancy. Just kind of color him in. And let's add just a little bit of green up here. I love to color, and I like to use all different kinds of ways to color. Let's use the brush tip for this. And I'm just going to add a little bit around the edge here and darken it up for some shadow, and a little bit down here, and then I'm just going to color it in. Let me know in the comments, do you like to color? If you do, what do you like to use? Because I'm always interested in hearing. And let's do his little feet. Let's do those a light orange. See if I have that here. Just going to add his little feet here. Okay, he's done. So let's add him. I'm going to move these off to the side so they're out of our way. And we're going to go ahead and pop this on here. Now I am just gluing things down, keeping it within normal mailing here in the United States, especially with postage and everything going on. Linda hopes to start your Christmas cards. I said that a week ago and I've started, but I still have an awful lot to go. All right, so we're going to put him here and make sure my card is in the right direction. And I'm just going to leave this off to the side. So let's do that. And I just want to make sure, because of the postage, I get right close to those edges. And let's put him here. Now I should have some little gems here that I'm going to add. And he might look good with some yellow. Whoops. So let's see here what we can add. And let's see how these are going to look. Oh, they're going to probably go okay. So I'm going to put one here. It kind of matches feet. And let's put one over here. And I'm just going to add one right here in the center. Up there. So there's our first card. Quick, easy. This is one that you could actually do multiple of so that you could get done. For the inside, I'm simply, and you'll be able to see this on the blog post, going to add a white inside with a strip of paper or stamp maybe some snowflakes from that stamp set. So there's our first card. Let's go to our second card. Our second card is, I'm using just a die, and this is a die from Simon Says Stamps. And let me put it on something so you don't have any glare. This cuts two very thin Christmas trees. This is called the Intricate Bottle Brush Trees. It comes in an envelope. And it'll cut 4 trees, 2 large and 2 small. So let's bring in our paper. And for this, I chose a pine green. And this is an 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And we're going to add another piece of patterned paper. Now for this card, I pulled in a patterned paper that I've used before, and this is from the Gingham's Patterned Collection. This is from scrapbook.com. Lots of gingham colors, holiday colors, some fall, autumn, your blues. I love the greens, and I really like, you can see I've been using it, my extras. I really like the craft color. So I chose to use a craft gingham on this because I want this almost to have like a Nordic look. Diane says she's working on her autumn and Thanksgiving cards and working on your blending with alcohol markers. For me, that's an ongoing. I'm always working on my blending. But I love ginghams, particularly because they're so versatile. I wanted this card to kind of take on a little bit of a Nordic look. And I'll kind of show you what I mean. So that is our layer. And then that patterned paper also has some green to it. So I cut, this is a 3/4 inch by 4 inches because this panel's 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to go ahead and adhere this to the lower third of my card. So let's add this right about here. Now, you always want, because I'm using the trees and I've die cut these out, you always want them to kind of be grounded rather than up in the air. So I'm using this as my grounding panel. Now I die cut these bottle brush trees out, and you can see they're pretty thin. So what I did in, here's one that I did not layer. And, but the taller ones, I wanted them to have a little bit more stability. So I cut out two, and I actually put a double-sided adhesive on the back, and you can see that here. I was a little short on it, and put them together. Um, so for here, I am going to have to add a little bit of glue, but I just wanted them to have a little bit more substance. Very flat, not going to affect at all your mailing. Um, and we're going to go, and I'm just going to put these right across this green strip, and that might be right where I forgot to get the paper. So let's add a little bit of glue. But anyway, I want that tip of that trunk right on the edge of that green gingham paper. And I'm going to go ahead and just add a few dots of glue to this, since I was short on the double-sided adhesive. So let's add this right about here. Give it a good press. These two, I use the adhesive to adhere them together. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of glue here. So if you have a fine tip, a bottle with a fine tip for glue, this will work great. It doesn't take much to get it to stick. I'm just putting it right on the edges. And let's pick this up. And I'm going to bring this in, and we're going to put this right here. I like the gingham because I can line this up pretty straight by following those lines. And I need to scoop that down just a little bit so that it's down right about there. There we go. Okay, and then our last one, I kind of separated that, didn't I? Okay. I'm going to do the same. Now for the greeting for this one, I did use a different stamp set. And I'm sure with your crafting, you have lots of different stamps and greetings that you can use. Even if you mix, I love to mix new with old, because I hate to get something and then just use it and then not be able to use it again. So this one we're going to put right about here. I'm going to go ahead and press that down. So there's our trees. Now for our greeting, I used, this was from Spellbinders, and it was a stamp of the month back in July. Now it still is available, and it does have matching dies to cut everything out. But what I really loved on this stamp set, and let me see if I can get this out here. Being stubborn. This is called Stay Snuggly. It has this die, and maybe if I turn it over, you can see it a little bit better. It's almost like a embroidered stitch. Let me hold it up for you to see. It's like little X's and it reminded me of a Nordic Christmas. So that is what I thought would look really cute on this card. And I thought it would look good right down here across that gingham. And you can see I had to stamp it twice to get it straight. And let's go ahead and we're going to kind of center that right about there. And then you can add a couple gems. And for my inside, all I did is I used like a beige or not beige, more like a cream or vanilla color. And I just put a strip of that green pattern paper, the green gingham, on there. And you can write a personalized greeting or stamp a greeting for the inside. And our second card is done. So here's our second card, and I could add some little beads. I was going to add some red, and but I wasn't sure that I'd like it. I thought I'd go back and add some real tiny white pearls, and you'll be able to see the finished with that on my blog post. So that's our second card. Now let's go to our third. And I kind of have a confession with this card. I chose to use a craft background with the red and like a light craft gingham paper. But I'm not going to do any stamping, any die cutting. Well, I did do die cutting, but I did it for the squares. Again, I'm using the same squares I used on the first card from that postage stamp dies from Spellbinders. But I'm actually going to use rub-ons. And my confession is I haven't used rub-ons in years. I used them when I first started stamping, which was 35 years ago, when it was an activity my daughters and I did in the evening, making our Christmas cards. My husband worked in the evenings. So we made cards and we'd use some rub-ons. And I don't know about you, but way back then, I did not have luck with rub-ons at all. I'd get part of it on and the other part would stick to the backing and I'd have half a rub-on. Well, I thought I'd give it a try again. And this time I'm using rub-ons from Spellbinders. And they were rub-ons. I thought, oh, I'll just take a chance, and I loved them. They came off so nice, and they're called the Holiday Magic Collection. And I don't have a lot left, but what I do, I'm going to show you. We did use these for our card class last week, but aren't these pretty? There were snowmen and Christmas trees and just little animals, just so pretty. And these rub-ons also have matching, I guess, baby rub-ons that you can use on the inside or on your envelope. So we're going to use the cardinal today, and we have a little one right here. So I loved that about these. Oh, here's some more. Let me show you what I have left. But there were 2 full sheets of these. And then you also had a wide variety of sentiments or greetings. So I just love these. So I thought this is a quick, easy way to do a card. And I chose that for our third one. So I think for this one, I don't know if I want to use the cardinal or the penguin. Let's go with the little penguin. He's really awfully cute. So I'm going to put him on here towards the bottom. And all you do is place him where it is you want him to be. These came with a popsicle stick. You can use your bone folder, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm going to use the popsicle stick, and you just rub. And those of you some of you watching may be used to using these and be a pro at it. You may have tips for me. But I'm just going to rub these, and I'm going to rub in both directions because I want to make sure that when I peel this off, this is adhered well to my cardstock. I think that's pretty good. So let's peel back and see what we get here. I want to get this edge right here. Okay. Look how cute. And it came off really easy. So let's go ahead and we're going to pick a sentiment to put on the top of this. And I thought I'd go with warm holiday hugs or Merry Christmas. Happy Holidays is another good one. So I'm just going to grab my scissors here and let's go with Happy Holidays. And I'm going to trim this off. So I have to tell you, this was like a whole new game changer for me. I really enjoyed doing these. I love nature and I love little animals. So this was right up my alley. So let's take this and I'm just going to set this right across the top here. And I'm going to try as best I can to kind of center that. Let's bring it over just a little bit. Make sure it's straight. And I'm going to give it a good rub. I will take a look at the comments in a minute, see if you have any questions. Okay, let's peel this back. I'm going to use my bone folder here. That H is being a little stubborn, and I might have cut it a little close. All right. I'm trying really hard not to press too hard because I'm worried about pulling that plastic back, but I'm going to rub a little harder. All right. That H isn't want to stay down. Let's one more try here. All right. I'm not sure. I could be operator error here. Oops. So I'm going to take it off. This didn't come out as well as I would have liked for the sentiment. I've not had problems with it in the past. What I'll probably do is do another one of these, cut a strip, and put that across the top. So let's go ahead and finish this up though. So could be human error. And we're going to add this. Let's see here. Sonia is from New Zealand. Thank you for joining. Linda says she's never used rub-ons. Well, it's been years, so this was my first time in the last couple weeks. So here's our card, or our sentiment. This is going, we're going to do this in a portrait. And I'm going to add him right here to the middle. Now, another idea for this would be to move him up a little bit, do your sentiment, and then have do your sentiment and trim it or die cut it, whichever you prefer, and put it down at the bottom. I kind of like it up there. Now for my inside, I had a piece of white right here with a strip of paper. So here it is. And just again, using the like cream or vanilla color. I'm not even sure what to call it. Trim that paper off, and we're going to add this. Oftentimes, I don't stamp my inside greetings until I'm ready to send the card. With my Christmas cards, I probably need to get myself in gear and start stamping the insides though. And what I'll probably do then is take my little penguin, and I might add him right at the end of the sentiment, just because I think he's cute. The other thing is you could add him to your envelope, and that would catch someone's attention when they receive your handmade card. So let me move this out of the way and bring all of these back for you so we can take a look at our cards. All right, I'm going to bring you back to me. So I hope you enjoyed seeing how you can easily make cards, 3 different examples, not using a lot of supplies really at all. Use what you have. I'm sure you have plenty that you can use. And they're just as attractive. I think they're clean, they're simple, and they're pretty. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up. It helps me grow my channel. I'm working hard, having changed directions to kind of build our audience up. I hope you have a great week. Don't forget that that link for the tutorial will be right down below in the video description by the end of the day tomorrow. Hi, Renee. Thanks for joining in. I hope you all have a great week. Stay safe and well, and I'll see you next Tuesday at 7 o'clock.